Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that chew too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Your earbud fell in a coffee cup. You need a taco pick-me-up. When modern life gets rough, grab the timeless taste you love. Paso, the old El Paso.
New York, the city that never sleeps. Home to Times Square, the best nightlife on the East Coast, and apparently the tastiest rats around. What better place for two of the nicest, human-friendly vampires to ever grace the silver screen? Throw some dirt in your coffin and settle in as we look to see if Vamps is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. Hello to all of our listeners in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? We are continuing our unofficial Spooktember journey with a little bit of fun. A movie that we kind of saw on various streaming services and said, can this qualify? Because it's got some good actors in it. Lo and behold, it does qualify. So this week we're looking at the movie Vamps. And here to join me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm good. At least you didn't say the B in Coffin 23.
Right? I couldn't put that in any script because when we were watching this movie, she comes up with this line. I'm like, damn it. I can't use it now. Can't use it.
Well, now that I've got that out of the way, I guess that makes me your eternal soul partner.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Matching coffins side by side, all good.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Can we get like a dual coffin though? Do they come in like a queen size coffin?
Well, apparently they did, because if the coffin's a rockin',
don't come a knockin'. Okay, so we're talking about Vamps, a movie that stars Alicia Silverstone and Kristen Ritter. So far we're this far into Spooktember. And it's been all comedies and it's kind of been fun.
I am loving this. And I remember when, you were flipping through the channels and I'm like, first of all, God damn it, just pick a show.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came across this and a few others. And how long has Suck been on the whiteboard?
Right.
Spoilers coming up.
Next week. Yeah, exactly.
But this has been a really fun ride. It's been a good month.
Yeah, we've had the most fun Spooktember that we could possibly have so far. But we're about to dive into this film right after Carrie says something.
I would dare say it has been spooktacular.
Oh, you were great. You were great with the Vamp 23. It's all good, but you went there, didn't you?
Here we are.
All right, well, here we are about to take this movie and trailerize it.
Dating in New York is hard at the best of times. But what if you're a lady of the night? And by that, I mean a pale rat-sucking party girl who is way older than she looks. Enter Stacy and Goody, two vampires just trying to find love and happiness. For Goody, she'll have to contend with an old boyfriend, and we mean old. As for Stacy, she'll have to navigate the worst meet the parents situation ever, one that can only be described as inconceivable. All the while, the government is cracking down on the undead in the most horrific, vile, and inhumane way possible through the IRS. They may suck at being vampires, but at least you won't have to worry about pests in your building. It's Vamps, rated PG-13 for pasty white girls.
Wow. I do love the nod to inconceivable.
Right?
I was so waiting the entire movie, waiting for it.
Anytime Wallace Shawn is on the screen, I want him. It's almost like, say the word. Say the word. You have to say the word.
What is he, a child actor that was known for only like one catchphrase?
Okay. I admit that the fault is mine in wanting him to, to say inconceivable in every single movie possible.
Oh no, I was with you on that. I was waiting.
The fault is still ours. That's okay. It's not like Wallace Shawn doesn't have a huge filmography, and only one movie does he say the word inconceivable. I think I would lose it if I actually saw him in person and it's like, inconceivable.
How many times a day do you think he gets that? Walking through the grocery store, say it.
Okay, but how many times does something in real life happen and you have his voice in your head screaming, inconceivable, when something, quite conceivable actually does happen?
Oh my God, yes.
All right, so let's get into who is in this movie. The movie stars Alicia Silverstone, Kristen Ritter, Dan Stevens, Richard Lewis, Wallace Shawn, Justin Kirk, Kristen Johnston, Malcolm McDowell, Sigourney Weaver, Mary Lou Henner, Zach Orth, and Meredith Scott Lind. There is actually an almost starring for this film. In the role of Cicerus, as played by Sigourney Weaver, it was originally offered to Michelle Pfeiffer. That would have been good.
I love that Sigourney Weaver was in this, but again, I was waiting for her to go, there is no Dana, only Zool.
She was totally putting out some Zool vibes. But I mean, let's be honest, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, I could see it.
Now, she had to turn it down because of scheduling conflicts. But I mean, if you're trading in Michelle Pfeiffer for Sigourney Weaver, that's a pretty darn good trade.
It wasn't a bad switch.
The movie is written and directed by Amy Heckerling. This is actually the last movie so far that she's written and directed. The film had a budget of $16 million. Domestically, it grossed $3,361.
Was it a limited run?
You want to know how limited this run was? It was in one theater domestically.
That's not fair.
When it was released on the November 2nd, 2012 weekend, it debuted at number 107 with a grand total of $548 only. The second week, and the only other week that it was actually in theaters domestically, it went up. It went up like 300%, but still only took in $2,193 in that same theater, coming in at 93rd. Worldwide, it did actually make $92,748. So this movie didn't even crack 6 digits at the box office. By the way, the number one film that weekend was the debut of Wreck-It Ralph with $49 million. Also debuting that week, Flight debuted at number 2 with $24.9 million. And The Man with the Iron Fist debuted with $7.9 million at number 4. Argo, in its 4th week, was in 3rd with $10.2 million. But the reason why we are here and celebrating Spooktember with these really the worst vampires to ever vampire, but they're fun, are the critics. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a tomatometer of 58%. So it's borderline qualifying by our standards. However, the popcorn meter sits at 37%. So 21% lower than the critics.
Well, that's fair because only like how many hundreds of people saw this movie.
I don't want to do 548 divided by whatever to find out how many people actually went to that theater on opening weekend. Over at Letterboxd, the film has a 3 out of 5 star rating for 60%. At IMDb, it sits at 5.3 stars out of 10 for a 53% score. At Metacritic, it sits at a 57% score, and at the movie database, 53%, giving this film an aggravated aggregate right on the nose at 53%. So, for the most part, everything's kind of around that same range. The 37% popcorn meter seems agonizingly low over at Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I don't know. Maybe it's the kind of movie that people watch and go, "Okay, well, that was something."
Well, that happened. I have a feeling it's one of those things where like no one knows it exists.
More so, yes.
I mean, yes, now because it's on so many different streaming services and pops up. And it's like, oh, hey, Alicia Silverstone. Oh, hey, Kristen Ritter. Why not give it a try? Because you do have identifiable stars even 13 years after it's been released.
Well, take it back to 2012. Was Kristen Ritter just getting, I guess, her teeth sharpened?
Okay, you have to understand that 2012 is the year that Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 actually premiered. So, yeah, people knew who Kristen Ritter was at this point.
Even at that, that's not a well-known series. It's not.
It's one of my favorite sitcoms of literally so far this century.
Yes, but you're broken.
I am totally broken, but you tell me Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 isn't fun as hell.
It is fun, and I love it, but I would put it I would put it in the running with kind of like with The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Great show. Fantastic show. But is it really a go-to? Is it really one that stands out?
I mean, in the same way as The Good Place is, because I really only discovered The Good Place on Netflix, right? And then I binged the damn show, but of course I did. But it's one of those things where Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. And by the way, if you have not watched this sitcom, it's available on Disney Plus, and you must go watch it. But I mean, also this is before Jessica Jones comes out. Now, Kristen Ritter did make, appearances in Breaking Bad and got a lot of attention there, and she was in other films too. But Don't Trust the Bee really feels like that breakout star role for her. But this came out in November, so this is, Don't Trust the Bee is already on the air for a couple of months already. So it's almost smack dab in the middle of Kristen Ritter mania.
I like that.
Right?
2012 was Kristen Ritter mania.
I'll just put it on a t-shirt right now.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Icy Hot Pro with 2 max strength pain relievers. Targets multiple pain receptors. Ice works fast, heat makes it last.
But let's get to the breakdown of this film and really figure out where the audience got this wrong. Because the critics at Rotten Tomatoes at 58%, it's not a horrible score. And it's a borderline qualify for this show. I'm again going to try and wrap my head around this 37%. But let's start with Alicia Silverstone as Goody.
So fantastic. Through the years, she is ageless. I absolutely love it.
Here's the thing with Alicia Silverstone. In this role, and by the way, Amy Heckerling was the same person who wrote and directed Clueless, so it makes sense that Alicia Silverstone is in this. You have to have someone who can really pull off eternally optimistic, because that's Goody. You couldn't put someone in with, like a sour puss kind of thing, like resting bitch face kind of thing. You couldn't put someone like that in this role. You need to, put someone in there that just exudes good and happy. One thing though, and this is just in timing, it really is in timing. So again, this movie comes out as Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 is out. Is it weird that you could take Drama Walker, who was in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, and put her in this role and it would still work?
Well, exactly. And that's kind of where I drew the parallel. I'm like, it's almost like when you look at Goody and Stacy, you've got kind of like a little bit of good and a little bit of evil.
But yeah, it's also kind of like June and Chloe.
And exactly. But yet, I don't think Stacy at all had an evil bone in her body in this movie. I think it's just more of a typecast that you're expecting. Mm-hmm. You're expecting that out of the character. Probably because of Don't Trust the Bee in 23.
Right. Well, it doesn't hurt that Chloe and Stacy kind of dress the same way.
Well, yeah.
All right.
I mean, you know what? Kristen Ritter is just so fantastic at what she does. I know that we're going to talk about a little bit more about her later, but Alicia Silverstone, though, playing off of Kristen Ritter, like the two of them, you could literally see almost like the good and evil. You could see like the angel and...
But I don't even
I'm not calling
think
it a devil, but...
I don't even think it's good and evil, because neither Stacy nor Goody are evil. It's
good and gooder?
It's gooder. It's good and goody is basically what it is, right? Because they're kind of like almost two peas in a pod, right? Like the same personality, just born centuries apart.
Well, exactly. There's that age gap that is so interesting, because it's almost like I was looking at Stacy as almost kind of taking care of Goody throughout the movie, which is interesting because she was much younger, but more, I don't know, like more with the times, more street smart, more street savvy. I don't really know how to explain it, but she was very much, between the two of them, very much the leader.
Right. I mean, I kind of take a look at her role in this, and I kind of like relate it almost back to her role in Blast from the Past. But I mean, that's the thing. It's that Alicia Silverstone pulls off just ridiculously joyous and good. Like, calling the character Goody seems almost as, as not ironic, but so, like, obviously calling the doctor Doc. Like, if that's the character name. Oh, what do you do? I'm a doctor. What's your name? Doc. Makes sense, right? What's your name? Goody. What are you? I'm a good person. Like, it felt like it kind of wrote itself. But it's really interesting to see the dynamic between Alicia Silverstone and Kristen Ritter. I love the dynamic between the two. I think it's great. I think they played off each other really well. And you had no... It didn't play into the typical tropes of like two best friends looking for love and then maybe something comes between them. No, nothing comes between them. These two are like absolute bestest friends for eternity, basically.
Very much. And I love that there was this genuine bond, unbreakable to the end.
Yeah. I have to point out too, like pretty much right off the beginning of the film, did it feel to you like a stage play? Like that opening scene in their apartment when they both come out of their coffins in the morning and they're just basically, it's a dialogue driven scene. It felt like a stage play at that point.
I could see that, and I would enjoy watching it done as such. I'm just trying to think if throughout the movie, I mean, they would definitely have to alter, the final scene. There's a few things. Yeah. There's a few things, but Yeah, I mean, for the most part, location-wise, there's the apartment, there's the
Vampires Anonymous meeting.
the meeting, the hospital scenes, and then and the home of the boyfriend.
Literally until like the very last scene where like action actually happens. It's one of those things where you could actually pull this film off as a stage play. And the fact that Clueless is a stage play now kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if that's Amy Heckerling's ability to write movies that feel like they could be a stage play, or at least adapted to a stage play or a musical. Come on, Vamps the musical.
Oh, let's manifest that.
Vamps the musical could be really, really good.
Make it happen.
Kristen Ritter as Stacy. We've already talked about her a little bit, right? But I mean, if you watch Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, don't expect Chloe. Stacy is the exact opposite of Chloe from a personality standpoint. Take the attire aside, right? Yes, they dress the same. Felt like the same wardrobe. It's almost like she went from like the set of Don't Trust the Bee over to Vamps, filmed her scenes there, went to bed, went the next day back over to Don't Trust the Bee, go over to Vamps, same wardrobe. But your thoughts on Kristen Ritter in this role?
She is so incredibly talented. In fact, like Kristen Ritter is the kind of actress that I would love to have as a best friend. Like she just, you know, whether it's Don't Trust the Bee, which, you know, questionable choice in friends and you know, who you hang out with, sure. But especially in this movie, like she just literally seems like the big sister that everybody should have.
Well, it's interesting because it's hard to tell who's supposed to be the big sister, who's supposed to be the little sister. Because Goody, you know, being as old as she is, by the way, spoilers like a mofo, okay? Being like, what, 200 years old or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and Kristen Ritter's only turned like 20 years ago kind of thing. So they're both kind of stuck in that same age because they were turned around the same time. But at least it's over, like Goody is way older than Stacy, but never tells Stacy. That's the one thing where it's like Goody never actually confesses when she was turned and how exactly old she is. At least not to Stacy.
But I kind of like that. And again, as I had mentioned about Stacy, is that because she is more familiar with technology, with, you know, the world being bigger and busier and more advanced, whether it be technology or whether it just be like, you know, cars and more people and nightclubs, which they seem to frequent. But Stacy, that's where I call her the big sister, because she's kind of like taking care of Goody and, you know, leading her through this big, scary world.
Well, big, scary technological world, too. There's that one moment for Goody where she's just absolutely losing it on, you know, was it Renfield has this new iPod or whatever, the Nano or whatever, and she just loses it on, like, why do we always have to learn new things? And then the minute you finally get your head around these new things come up and you have to learn those new things. And I'm just like, I'm feeling you, girl, on this one.
But they're balanced. They balance each other out. You know, where Goody also she possessed a wealth of knowledge, again, historically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really interesting when it starts to unravel her story of her past love and it all kind of starts to come together.
The one thing I like, though, is that when Goody finally does reveal to Stacy that she is 200 years old and really kind of like the backstory there, it's nothing comes of it. It's just Stacy takes it all in stride. Really, I mean, aside from Cicerus, there's no villains in this movie.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, should she have said something earlier? Sure. I see why she didn't, but it was no big deal. Again, their friendship was just so beautiful and so cool that I think it's eternal. I don't think anything could come between them as besties.
I mean, the interesting thing about this film, and I'm going to get this out there now because it feels like a good point to get it out there, because we did briefly mention Cicerus being the quote unquote villain, but there's this overwhelming sense of dread that, the government is starting to crack down on vampires through the IRS, but it's resolved in like 2 minutes and then it never becomes a threat ever again. It's like, oh, well, there's the conflict resolved right away, I guess. But, yes, the conflict is more on the humans that they're trying to date or not date in Goody's case. It's a character story. It's not an action flick. Don't go into this expecting some weird kind of vampire adventure. It's like Vamps in the City, basically.
Yeah, it kind of is. But what I thought was perfectly tied together or like a little too easy was the turnaround for the father. We'll get to it later.
Well, let's talk about Wallace Shawn right now as Dr. Van Helsing.
Inconceivable.
But I mean, this is where I can sit there and point to certain things, right? Obviously, when it comes to vampire lore, it's, Van Helsing is a legendary name in vampire lore. Renfield is a legendary name. Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Tepes, right? Like all of these character names coming out. It's like, okay, I get it. Can we not just have vampires that aren't connected to the most well-known vampires? Like Goody and Stacy are great. I love them. Cicerus I'd never really heard of. Do we need this guy to be a Van Helsing?
However, I think that is that's the tip of the hat to this movie. That's its silver lining.
But again, that's like calling a doctor Doc or calling a good person Goody.
Well, I don't think so, because clearly the lineage has centuries, right? So, of course, they're going to tie in nicely to like the well-known myth and lore of vampires.
It helps that Goody is like 200 years old. So, of course, she would know of the name of Van Helsing, right? So, to Stacy, it makes sense that the name Van Helsing doesn't trigger anything. But it just felt like low-hanging fruit from a character naming perspective. But if you're looking for someone who's going to play someone who carries on the lineage of the Van Helsing name in being vampire hunters and killers, Wallace Shawn is an interesting choice for this. But I liked him in this because you're not painting Dr. Van Helsing as an overall bad guy. He has a mission until he's confronted with good vampires that make him change his perspective on those who he's been hunting down all this time.
It was a very easy turnaround, though. But I guess, at that point where you're like, well, you need to protect your grandchild.
Right.
It becomes a little bit more personal, right?
But I like it's the fact that it's Goody that turns him, right? And not Stacy. Because here, really, Goody's whole story about being turned is that, it's time of like the plague. And, she could already feel like the symptoms coming on. And she asked to be turned so she could help protect her kids. Because if she died, then her kids wouldn't have really lived that long because the plague is the freaking plague. So she was turned by Cicerus. She was able to look after her kids. And then she walked away from their lives because it would be weird if she was watching them grow up and she never changes. So it kind of makes sense. So the fact that she, basically appeals to Dr. Van Helsing's sense of, parental care and parental protection makes total sense. And the moment when Wallace Shawn changes his mind and decides to side with Goody and Stacy, it's just a almost huggable kind of expression that he's giving, right? Because he turns into like this weird little teddy bear, and it kind of works because it is Wallace Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just call Wallace Shawn a weird little teddy bear, but don't give me a microphone. I'm going to say
Inconceivable.
It's inconceivable that someone lets me have a microphone to talk and put it out into the internets. Oh, dear God. Anyone who's listening, I'm so sorry. Like, if you've listened to multiple shows and you've listened to some of the stuff that is coming out of my mouth, why? That's all I have to ask. Why?
Well, that says a lot about me. I married you.
Yeah, well, you're broken too, so. Dan Stevens, who plays Joey Van Helsing, this is the boyfriend to Stacy, also very British, unlike Wallace Shawn. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get past the, I'm like, where'd he get the accent from? Was he brought up in England away from his family? Because his father, let's be honest, I don't know. Is it a New York? Is it a Brooklyn accent? It is definitely not.
No, it's not anything really. I mean, yes, Dan Stevens does have a very British accent, but I have to get this out there because I'm watching it and I'm like, it looks a little familiar, but hard to tell. This is 2012, right? And, so I go to his filmography and I take a look at some of the films. I'm like, okay. And holy crap. Dan Stevens is the super pilot giant monkey dentist from Godzilla X Kong The New Empire.
So technically you've spoken about him before.
We have. Yes, we have. And I called his character uncool in that film.
Oh.
Just uncool. Yeah, no, it's funny. Dr. Van Helsing, Wallace Shawn, very important to the turn of everything. Joey Van Helsing, I think he's literally there as a tie-in so Goody can turn Dr. Van Helsing to the side of the vampires. I found Joey serviceable in that Stacy wouldn't go for a bad guy. He's a good guy. Stacy is the kind of character who would go for a good guy. That part makes sense, but there's really nothing special about Joey outside of that.
You know what, though? I disagree. I mean, he was very charming, and their romance happened very quickly, and he very much fell for Stacy. And there was just something so sweet about him when he found out that, yeah, his girlfriend actually is a vampire.
Well, he found out by watching her crawl down a wall.
Yeah, that's a red flag right there.
But then you want to talk about a super easy turnaround. So he shows up at the school that they're taking these courses at, and he's got like a cross and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, but you're cute. So I'm just going to forget that I'm all worried and stuff like that.
You know what? It was an adorable love story.
Joey Van Helsing, victim to the power of the penis. Because that's what it feels like. It's like, you're a vampire and you're hot. I'm not okay. I'm just going to go with it. It's all good.
My dad's going to kill me, but hey, here we are.
My dad's going to kill you, then me, but
Yeah.
Because he's got a room of weapons designed to kill the vampire. I just love the fact that when Goody actually goes to see Wallace Shawn in this, and she's looking at the weapons room, it's like, yeah, that's not going to do anything. You need this and this and this, right? That moment alone for Alicia Silverstone was fantastic because it's just so and it's said in the most pleasant way possible.
Well, exactly. But I mean, there is the knowingness, I don't know, not immortality, but at least the aging.
The familiarity of the ways the Van Helsing clan has dealt with vampires
over the experience.
Exactly.
She's not old or aged. She's experienced.
Wow. You make that sound real dirty. She's not old. She's experienced. Oh, dear God. Sigourney Weaver, who played Cicerus, your thoughts on her?
She was fantastic. Oh my God. She had that when Dana turned into Zool, kind of that commanding presence.
Okay, you say that.
Like a mistress.
I wasn't sold on her in this.
No.
And generally, I really like Sigourney Weaver. I think she's fantastic. Like, she's one of the best parts of Galaxy Quest. Really, anytime Sigourney Weaver's in a film, she's going to kill it. But did you not notice that her accent changed in this film like 17 times and sometimes in the same scene?
Well, if you're several hundreds of years old, you've probably traveled around the world.
Pick an accent. Like,
lived many lives.
People have raged on the internet about the evolution of the Wanda Maximoff accent from Elizabeth Olsen, but it is at least consistent in each film. And as someone lives in a country for X amount of time, their dialect is going to change over time. So, having Wanda's dialect change over time makes sense. Having a dialect change mid-scene, maybe not the best thing to do.
Well, you can imagine that maybe they filmed it in different parts. I don't know. Like,
the same scene.
There's something to be said about, well, yeah, but if it was filmed in different parts, there's something to be said about continuity, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it was it by design? Honestly, I didn't even catch it.
It's the only thing that's bugged me about this film is that, like, pick an accent and go with that, please. But I mean, what I do like, though, is the fact that Cicerus is, like, just seemingly like the world is her oyster. She can do whatever the hell she wants, and she does whatever the hell she wants, regardless of how many people die while she's doing it.
Well, she was the quintessential, what you would expect of a vampire mistress.
This is your human blood sucking vampire, yes.
Yeah. Which was so nice to see, like, the complete juxtaposition of Goody.
Well, the fact that they're sticking straws into rats and, like, drinking their blood that way.
Yet they are so afraid of her.
Yeah.
Like, that's
wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. But they're already...
You saw what she did to the Chinese food restaurant?
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of dead people. Like, a lot of dead people. I also love the fact that Goody and Stacy have a job as pest control workers. That's how they get their animals. So, almost humane. Until, of course, they stick a straw in them, but whatever.
Until you realize they work in a hospital.
Okay, but they're pest... it's New York, though.
Horrifying.
I right now, I'm sure there are janitors in New York hospitals going, no, that's right. That's squares. That's...
Those were some big-ass rats.
They were. Well, I mean, clearly you order the extra large. It's more cost efficient.
They were like the size of ferrets, though.
Again, it's New York. Those are the ones that ride the subway to work.
Okay. The TTC have some massive rats, too.
Oh, they absolutely do. But it's we're talking like New York level rats here. The rats that don't give a damn. Show them this film, they'd be like, oh, no, maybe we should clean up our act.
What are they packing a piece or something? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. Kind of like Toronto raccoons. Toronto raccoons and New York rats are basically mafias unto themselves.
Oh, you don't fuck with Toronto raccoons,
right? Or the Canadian geese. That is Canada's Air Force right there.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing about Cicerus is that this is the only vampire that follows that bloodlust that she does. Everyone else, that's why you have like this Vampires Anonymous, like, we're going to not be Cicerus, basically.
But you know what? I like that they showed that angle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's what you would expect. And yet the fact that it was only one, it was only her.
Yeah. But I mean, then on the other side, you have Malcolm McDowell, who played Vlad Tepes. So we're talking Vlad the Impaler. Let me say that again, just to get the point across of the character we're doing. Vlad the Impaler.
But he was reformed. He's a good guy.
And he's sitting in the back impaling his yarn so he can knit some sweaters and basically leading the charge on not being human-feeding vampires. I love this quirky role for Malcolm McDowell. It's kind of fun.
You know who I could have seen in that role, who would have been almost beautifully ironic, is Kiefer Sutherland.
Well, I mean, that would be a little ironic, seeing how he was in The Lost Boys.
Well, exactly. Beautifully ironic, right?
Right? But the interesting thing is, and by the way, we're going to talk about Malcolm McDowell next week as well, because he's also in Suck. So it feels like a little stretch of Malcolm McDowell films here. But the interesting thing is that when you, I mentioned about the whole Van Helsing character and whatever, right? But that's like continuing the bloodline of the Van Helsing bloodline. This is Vlad the Impaler, and you turned him into a sweater knitting, humanistic vampire, and you cast it with Malcolm McDowell. That is literally taking someone who is known for playing villains in these, really, really dark films, and then it's like, okay, here you go. Go be goofy.
But I love that.
Yes.
Because you don't expect it when you see his character come on screen. What did you expect?
Well, he comes on glowering. It's like, and then all of a sudden he turns it into this charming little character, this charming little, version of Vlad. And it's like, okay, that's just cute. That's fun,
love it.
Right?
Totally here for it.
It so fits the actual mood of the film, right? This is not a dark vampire. This isn't True Blood. This isn't The Lost Boys. This is just goofy comedy fun, but not stupid goofy comedy fun, right?
Quite smart, quite the opposite.
Yeah, it's stage play fun.
Yes.
Right? There's a different, this isn't like some kind of weird Twilight spoof parody film. This feels like the kind of play you would go see in the afternoon. And I'm telling you, Amy Heckerling, you got to turn this into a stage play or a musical. Make it happen. Richard Lewis, who played Danny Horowitz. This is Goody's old boyfriend. They dated it was like the 60s. And then she kind of walked away because after a couple of years, she doesn't want to, someone would get suspicious if they were with someone for X amount of time and they never change. Meanwhile, you're getting older. Wait a second. We've been together X number of years and you haven't changed at all.
Oh, you're so kind and so lying to our listening audience.
Are you a rat-sucking vampire sleeping in a coffin at night that I don't know about?
Don't ask me questions
that you don't want the answers
recording.
To. Well, no. There's a mirror behind you so I can see it. It's okay.
Right? Oh my God. That was the funniest line where Goody's trying to put on her lipstick and she's like, you would think that,
after all this time, you'd have figured it out then by now.
Yeah.
But I mean, as Danny Horowitz, as Goody's ex-boyfriend, I have thoughts on how this played out. Your thoughts on Richard Lewis, though?
As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my God. I mean, he still looks exactly the same as I remember him from doing like stand-up comedy.
Yep.
And he looks exactly the same. Maybe he's a vampire.
No. If anyone's a vampire in Hollywood, it's Paul Rudd.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No, he's an ant, man.
Oh.
Come on.
I am dead again. You killed me. What I like about this character, though, is that, yes, it figures out that it's Goody. Yes, he eventually learns that she's a vampire. And at this point, Danny has moved on. He's married. His wife is in the hospital and near death kind of thing. They don't turn this into a, Goody finally gets back together with her boyfriend kind of thing. It's a very wholesome reunion. She's not here to be a homewrecker. She's not here to reconnect with her old boyfriend. It's a really sweet part of this story. And I think you have to have it in that sense because otherwise you turn Goody into not being good, and that doesn't serve the character well at all.
You know what I love about the characterization is that he was always, leading the protest and that his ultimate career path is that he was a lawyer. He became a lawyer, and that he really helped to defend the vampire population.
Yeah.
And to help protect them.
Once he realized that here was a way he could finally help his ex-girlfriend in by using his profession, by using his skills, that was great. And again, it completely resolved that line of the movie real quick. But
what an excellent story. Not only that, but that they were able to turn his wife's fate around.
Which, for the record, we really can't say anything about her because I don't even think she had a line in this.
No, but she was a hottie.
Well, it's Mary Lou Henner. Of course she's a hottie. Mary Lou Henner is a vampire. She hasn't changed at all. Really, she hasn't. From the days of Taxi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. But, I mean, once his wife is turned to a vampire so they can be together again, or at least for longer, it's, you put someone of Mary Lou Henner's like stage presence, screen presence, her deep filmography, someone of that stature there, and you don't give her any lines. What?
To be fair, she was dying. She was on deathbed.
No, but this is when she was turned into a vampire.
Okay.
Like after the turning.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would have been super romantic if they had that moment where she bit Richard Lewis's character.
But that's not how it works, though, right? Only someone of like Vadim, the vampire that turned her, or Cicerus, the vampire that turned Goody and Stacy. Only certain vampires have the ability to turn someone. Everyone else just feeds.
Okay, but I do love that Goody saved that man.
I'm also really glad that Danny's wife didn't then turn and feed on him, because that would have been awkward.
Yeah, yeah. No, but it makes it romantic, though.
It is. This is a very sweet romantic film, even though, and it's not a laugh out loud. This isn't slapstick. This isn't goofy comedy. This is a sweet rom-com,
like a warm, fuzzy
stage play style.
Yeah, like a big hug.
Yeah, it's a Saturday afternoon play, is what it is with vampires.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Xyzal is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Xyzal keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Xyzal. At night.
Ah, Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant.
Whoa, that's refreshing.
And a 9.5 plus pH for every way you move.
I did take a Spain class today.
Restoring like a pro. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Justin Kirk, who played Vadim, this is the Ukrainian vampire that does turn Danny's wife, and really is like the one asshole vampire out of everyone at the support group. Your thoughts on him?
Well, he very much was, but again, I love his character turn as well when he decided to help.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, his assistant, whatever he was to him, goes missing, and he instantly thinks it's Goody, and then they finally realize that the government is cracking down on them. That's when they realize that they have to be on the same team and work together.
Yeah, but even though he did turn into a good vamp,
Mm-hmm.
He was. I mean, he was helping Goody, he was still a bit of an ass.
He didn't turn good. He did a good thing.
He did.
Let's not put the cart before the horse here, right? I'm sure Vadim has a bunch more things he's got to do before you can consider him a good vampire, right?
No, he was a bit swarmy, but you know what? It worked.
But you needed some of those kind of characters, though. Otherwise, everyone is kind of painted with the same brush. And I like that Vadim he's not a bad guy. He's just a jerk.
Yes.
But even a jerk can do the right thing every now and then. One more person to talk about here, Zach Orth, who played Renfield. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of, in my mind, kind of like a background character, almost kind of like, well, who is this guy that's just kind of hanging around?
Yeah, he's a hanger-on. But I mean, to the same token of like naming a character a Van Helsing, right? Or naming Malcolm McDowell's character Vlad Tepes, right? Iconic vampire names. Renfield is also an iconic character in vampire lore.
Well, it is. We covered the movie.
Right? But then you completely nullify any use of the character, right? He's literally like Stacy and Goody's gay BFF is what it feels like.
Yeah, you know what? He kind of felt, and I have to draw it back to Don't Trust the Bee. He kind of felt like
like Luther,
James Van Der Beek.
Yeah, Luther
character. Yeah, like, but
no,
yes
not James Van Der Beek's character, but James Van Der Beek's assistant, Luther.
Okay, but I mean, whether he was there or not, it was kind of like, you know, who is this guy really?
Right.
Why is he there? I think it would have been funnier if they had Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, but Renfield came out like a decade after.
Well, it would have been ironic.
Ironic in hindsight, maybe.
It would have been foretelling at that point.
If you're going to name a character Renfield in a vampire-based movie, do something with him. Like, for anything except for just being Stacy and Goody's friend. That's literally, it felt like he was there for basically one or two gags, and that's about it. By the way, it was Renfield that had the new iPod kind of thing that set Goody off on her anti-technology rant. One thing that this film doesn't do well, and we have to kind of call this out here, the CGI is not great in this film. Like, there's the scene where Goody's tongue goes up one nostril and out the other kind of thing when the drummer she hooks up with has like that nosebleed. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Or all the scene, like the scene where Stacy is climbing down the wall in some weird reverse spider exorcist kind of thing that's going on. Like, there's not a lot of CGI in this film, or the Cicerus head on the skeleton.
Well, even the scene could have been so simple to just like film it at night and light it, but they had Stacy and Goody just sitting on the roof of the building. Mm-hmm. And they completely like...
Oh, it's completely green screen.
Green screen the background. It's like, why?
They did that on The Room. They put them up on a roof set and green screened everything. And then I can't sit there and look at it and go, oh God, they Tommy Wiseau'd this.
Yeah.
You never go full Tommy Wiseau.
Well, that they did.
But the thing is, for some of these scenes, you didn't need CGI. Like, we don't need to see Goody's tongue go up one nostril and the other. Just literally have her lick the blood off his face. Alicia Silverstone is a comedic actor. She can pull that off. Like, you don't need to CGI it into something that's so bad.
It got weird. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to go that far. You just need to, like, have her lick him. That's it. You don't need to go down CGI road.
Yeah, but I think the fact that he was doing drugs and coked out at the moment probably made it that much more for emphasis or for laughs at that point, because clearly he's already out of his mind.
But it's not funny, though. If the CGI is so bad that you sit there and you can't look away from it, that's not good.
True.
It would have been funnier to just do it practically because that would have been out of Goody's character. The other thing I don't understand about this film, it is a good film. It's a fun film. It's completely light fare. It's straight up afternoon on the weekend kind of thing. It's fun. Maybe it's not a theatrical release, but I guarantee you it's way better than just being buried in one theater as a release. Like, I don't know the math or the business beside what it takes to put a movie in different theaters. I don't know if there's a cost to it. I don't. But clearly, with a cast like this, decent comedy, and releasing at the same time as you can capitalize on the success of Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, because you have Kristen Ritter in here. How is this not at least I don't say it should be wide release. I don't think this is a wide release film, but it's good enough to be in more than one theater.
I'm surprised it didn't become more of a cult classic.
See,
and have like a following, a very specific like line of goth fandom.
See, the interesting thing is that it's not goth.
It's
though.
not. It's not.
It's the furthest thing from goth. You have the most vanilla vampires that you could possibly come up with Stacy and Goody. And yeah, they're cute, they're fun, but there's nothing memorable about this film. It's not so bad it's good. It's not bad, period. It's CG, okay, but whatever, right? But there's nothing stand out about this film, right? There's not those breakout roles. It doesn't introduce someone that goes on to become super huge, because Kristen Ritter was already big enough at that time. Alicia Silverstone's obviously big. There's just nothing of a hook to make it a cult film. Had this been a musical, maybe, because then you can have fun with the soundtrack. It's all good. And if Vamps the musical ever comes into creation in life, I will happily go see it, because I do think the story would work well for a live audience.
And we want comp tickets because the idea came from right here. Right now.
Right? Don't you forget that, world. If Vamps the musical ever happens, comp us up, let me tell you. But yeah, it's a cute movie. You know, it's not going to shake your world. It's not going to ruin it. It's a cute, fun film. And if you're looking for something light and put your brain on vacation and have a little laugh here and there, it's not laugh out loud, but it has cute, fun moments. And if that's what you're aiming for, this is a good film to watch, especially if you want to see more of Kristen Ritter, more of Alicia Silverstone, and count the number of accents for Sigourney Weaver. All right, Carrie, we've come to the end of the show, which means one and one thing only. Who's your MVP from Vamps?
It's a tough one because I'd like to go with the power duel of Goody and Stacy. But I know I have to choose one.
Choose one.
I'm going to go with Kristen Ritter.
I mean, when you're right, you're right. And you're right.
I was hoping you were going to go with Alicia.
No, the thing is, I mean, Alicia Silverstone is good in the part. Don't get me wrong.
She's fantastic.
She's absolutely fantastic. But I mean, the role of Stacy feels almost tailor-made for Kristen Ritter. And does she bring that Chloe energy to her? Yes, she does. But not the Chloe madcap insanity and whatever else that Chloe is. Basically, if you could put Stacy and Chloe in the same room and say, no, it's the same vibe until they're left to their own devices. Chloe would go off and do something completely whatever, and Stacy would be the one to have to clean it up. All right, Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, until next week of Spooktember, you guys know the drill. If there's a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned, or there's no way in a dirty coffin that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com, and make sure you bookmark the website because Mocktober is around the corner. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.